Now we're going to learn theme and variation on page 168 in your textbooks. A theme and variation simply means that we have a particular idea or motif. It could be a theme, it could be a chord progression, and we're going to have variations on it. So let's take a look to see what we have. In the first two systems here, we have a particular theme. So this is the theme. And it tells us. Okay. If we look at the theme, we can see that the right hand is comprised of chords, mostly triads, and that the left hand is composed of broken chords or arpeggios. We can even see that there is a lot of parallel ideas happening. For example, the first four measures are the same in both systems. And in fact, even the next two bars are the same. The only two different bars occur at the ends of these ideas. Okay? So it's a lot of similar components happening here. Then we look at the next three lines. This is indicated as the variation. Okay? And if we compare, if we look at the left hand here, we'll see that the first system is identical to the corresponding 8 bars of the variation. And that is also true for the left hand on the second half of the theme and the second half of the variation. So this shows us that actually there isn't that much to learn, in particular with the left hand. Okay. Because if you consider the fact that the left hand repeats from here all the way to here, okay? That means all you have to learn in the left hand is this line here, this, and this. That's it. Okay? Then you know the entire left hand. So we're going to go ahead and learn the left hand together. Notice that the very first 3 notes outlines a G major triad, here. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put our 5th finger down on G2, and you just have a G major triad. Just play it as a triad. The next triad outlines an A minor triad, which is just a step higher than the G major triad, still on white keys. So we have G major, and then A minor. We get another triad here, which outlines a C major triad. Okay? So now you've already learned more than half of the left hand here. G major, up to A minor, up to C major. And then we're going to go to 2nd finger on G sharp. Then we have an A octave, which will be just 1, 5, and then 4th finger on the B here. So let's try that from the C major triad section. Ready and play. C, B, G, crossover, G sharp, A, B, like that. One more time. Ready and play. C, B, G, G sharp, A, B. And then the second system, it's identical all the way till the very end here. We'll have the A, then 2nd finger on D, and 5th finger on G. So you'll have A, B, G. That's the only difference. A, B, G. So now let's try from this point forward, starting on the C major triad. Ready and play. C, B, And now we have the entire left hand. So let's go ahead and play the left hand together. Starting on G major. 2, ready, and 1, 2, 1, A minor. 1, 2, 1, C major. 1, 2, 1, crossover, G sharp, A, B, back to G. 1, 2, 1, A minor. 1, 2, 1, C major. 1, 2, 1, 2, A, D, G. And that is the entire left hand for this entire piece. Very, very simple. Okay, next. Let's take a look at the right hand. If we take a look at the right hand chords, we start with a G major chord here. So this is a G major chord. And notice it's in the second inversion. So we'll just play 1, 3, 5. There. Okay. And you'll see a pattern in the right hand. Notice how it's second inversion, which is a 6-4, G6-4, and then it goes to a root position chord where the lowest note of the right hand remains the same. See that? Okay. So it's nice. It's going to feel like a 4 chord, 1 chord. Okay. 4 chord, 1 chord. 4 chord, 1 chord. It's kind of what it's feeling like if you're thinking about your cadences. Of course, that's actually not what the chords are, since we're in the key of G major, but just to give you a relationship to your cadences. All right, so G, 6-4, then D. Okay, let's try that together. And there will be an F sharp on the D major chord. Here we go, ready, and play. 1, 2, 1, 2, just like that. Then we go up a step. See our bass note here of the right hand lowest note was a D. Now we go up to an E. And we do the same kind of positioning. So we have an A minor in 6-4 inversion, and then to E minor in root position. Again, the lowest note stays the same. So E, A, C, here we go. 1, 2, E minor. Let's do that again. Start from the first chord, D, ready, and play. 1, 2, 1, up a step. 1, 2, 1, 2. And now that you have that, let's take a look at the very next section here. And here we've got C major, also in the 6-4 inversion. And it also resolves to a root position triad, where the lowest note G stays the same. So try that. Ready, and play. 1, 2, 1. At this point, our left hand shifts down to F natural, like that. So you're in G major, then your thumb goes down to F. And then the hand moves in parallel motion down a step, like that. And then we go to the B major chord, D sharp, F, B. Okay, so this is pretty easy because of the parallel motion that happens here. Okay. All right, so let's try the last 4 measures of the system. Starting from the C major chord, 1, 3, 5. Here we go. 1, 2, root position. Thumb goes down. Down. 1, 2. Now to B major, D sharp, F sharp, B. So the only tricky transition you have is really to the B major. Everything else is very easy. One more time. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. Now, the right hand is identical in the second system except for the last two chords. Here and here. Okay? So nothing changes. We're dealing with exactly the same thing. Until you get here, you'll use the fingers 1, 2, 4, and then 1, 2, 5. The last two chords are a D7 chord, so your thumb on C, second finger D, fourth finger F sharp. That's a D7. This is the seventh of the chord, the root of the chord, and the third of the chord. And we resolve to G major in first inversion, B, D, G. So D7, G. So now let's try the last four measures here. It starts with the same idea. We start with the C major chord in second inversion. Here we go. C major, then G major. Now your thumb goes down to F, shift down in parallel motion. Now jump down to D7 and G major. So again, C major, second inversion. 1, 2, G major, thumb down to F, parallel down, D7, G major, first inversion. Now you've learned the entire right hand as well. Let's play through the right hand together. 2, here we go. 1, 2, 1, up a step. 1, 2, 1, now to C major. 1, 2, 1, thumb goes down, parallel motion. B major, back to G major. Just like the beginning. D major, A minor, up a step. Now up to C. 1, 2, 1, thumb goes down to F, parallel motion. D7, G major. Now here's the thing. If you look at the second half, nothing's changed actually. It just becomes arpeggiated. So I don't even want you to look at the second half. I want you to try this just with the first half. All you're going to do though is you're going to play the top note first and then descend. So instead of playing 1, 2, 1, we're going to play 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? And that's how we're going to practice it. We're going to play it as in the theme and then the variation, theme and the variation for these small segments. So we'll start with the first two bars. D, G, B. Here we go as chords. 1, 2, 1. Same thing, now as a variation. Ready and play. 1, oh, let, 2, oh, let, 1, oh, let, 2, oh, let. Now go to the second two bars, the next idea, which starts on the A minor chord. Play it as block chords, and 1, 2, 1. And now as the variation, here we go, and 1, oh, let, 2, oh, let, 1, oh, let, 2, oh, let. Now let's do the next four bars, starting from the C major chord as block chords, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and now the same thing, but as arpeggios, descending arpeggios, and 1, oh, let, 2, oh, let, 1, oh, let, 2, oh, let, 1, oh, let, 2, oh, let, 1, oh, let, 2, oh, let. Okay, so that's just all this does. Okay, so now you can see the pattern. What you'll do is get comfortable with each of the hands like we just did, and then begin to put hands together. I'm going to go ahead and play this entire piece for you so you can hear how it sounds. Take a listen. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Fermato. Now we have the variation, same exact notes. The only change is the right hand is now broken chords descending. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I hope this video has been helpful for you, and then I'll see you in the next and final video for this course.